Consider this. There are experts who say half the art sold at auction is fake. And it turns out proving otherwise is no easy task. Erin Moriarty explores the fine art of art authentication.
In early 2017, when Tracy Finch came across a collection of drawings and doodles for sale in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, the primitive figures and vibrant colors brought one artist to mind.
It might be Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Jean-Michel Basquiat, initially known for his provocative graffiti under the name Samo. Basquiat became a celebrated artist in the early 1980s after major New York galleries began showing his work, and other artists like Andy Warhol collaborated with him. In 1988, when Basquiat was 27, he died of a drug overdose.
And there's this profile.
Finch, who was an art history major in college, bought more than 100 drawings, some no more than scraps of paper.
I believe that one is a sketch. It's a self-portrait, I think, of Basquiat. You can notice the spiky hair. I think these are just simple, just doodles, pieces of paper with pencil.
She believes these are Basquiat's early works. She won't say exactly how much she paid for them.
Thousands.
Thousands.
And that's all I'll say.
What do you think it's worth?
I'm not sure, probably millions of dollars.
It is every art lover's fantasy to uncover a lost masterpiece, like the nurse in New York who last year discovered a painting on her wall was in fact the work of Jacob Lawrence, a prominent American artist. But what headlines on stories like these often fail to mention is just how difficult it can be to prove a find isn't a fake.
Never thought that people could be so rude and skeptical constantly. Even friends who said you couldn't possibly have real work. That's impossible.
What Finch has encountered is par for the course in today's art world.
Federal investigators say it is fake art that's behind 56-year-old Glafira Rosales' scheme.
It is a largely unregulated business where it's possible that even the savviest art collector can end up with phony art. And how common is that?
I like to joke that the best fakes are still hanging on people's walls.
Sharon Fleischer runs the International Foundation for Art Research, known as IFAR.
Because the history of the art world is such that a lot of transactions traditionally were done with handshakes. It's accepted in the art world. It's not necessarily right or wrong. But with increasing prices of artworks, it allows a lot of room for hanky-panky.
Like the longtime New York gallery owner who pleaded guilty in October 2021 to selling fake antiquities and getting away with it for 3 decades.
The minute you have things of great value, it can be art, it can be antiques, rare comic books, coins, baseball cards, any collectible, they're going to be forgeries because there's money to be made.
Selling for $98 million. Thank you.
And there is a lot of money to be made, says Richard Polsky, when it comes to the artist Jean-Michel Basquiat. In 2017, a single painting went for $110 million. Polsky is an art authenticator, one of only a handful of experts willing to examine a painting to determine if it's genuine or not.
Authentication is based on 2 things. What does the object look like and what is its backstory? You read, you look at books, you go to exhibitions, you go to museum shows. Whatever it takes. It's like people learning about great wines. You got to drink a lot. Well, with art, you got to look a lot.
But with so much money at stake, some art collectors aren't always willing to accept his conclusions.
People are very passionate about the art they own. And if you say, look, I'm really sorry, but here's the evidence, it's not, they get very upset. And they will, come after you.
With expensive litigation, says Polsky, or something even worse.
I did have my life threatened once. That's a true story.
Over a painting?
Yes, there were millions of dollars involved.
Which is why even the estates of many well-known artists, Warhol, Haring, Basquiat, will no longer authenticate their own artists' work. And that's a problem, even for those in the art world.
Last Friday, the FBI raided the Orlando Art Museum, seizing more than 24 paintings.
In June, the FBI raided the Orlando Museum of Art and confiscated pieces of a Basquiat exhibit after an investigation raised questions about their authenticity. But Tracy Finch, convinced her collection is genuine, engaged numerous experts to help prove it.
I have ink dating, handwriting. I now have 2 art scholars.
Finch says these specialists told her that the ink used was available in 1980 and that the signature seen on some pieces appears genuine. But Richard Polsky, who has not personally examined Finch's collection, says she will also have to establish provenance, or how these pieces went from Basquiat's hand to hers.
Does the backstory make any sense? We've had people come to us and say, I was one of Basquiat's girlfriends. He gave me this as a gift. I was able to verify that in several instances.
And that may be Tracy Finch's greatest challenge. She says she bought these works from an artist by the name of Kevin Doyle, who says he became acquainted with Basquiat in 1980.
Are there any pictures of Kevin with Basquiat?
I'm not aware of it.
Did he have any notes from Basquiat or anything that shows the two knew each other?
I never really asked for proof, but I believe him.
Doyle told us the same story, that Basquiat gave him the work, but there are still plenty of skeptics.
There are so many people in the art world that don't believe him. They don't believe the story, but there are people who do believe it because they look at the artwork and they see what I saw.
Finch now concedes she may never know for sure if this is the work of a budding Basquiat or a skilled forger.
What kind of toll is this taking on you, Tracy? I mean, isn't your husband about to say enough?
He has. He wants to kill me over this. It's too much sometimes.
Earlier this summer, Tracy Finch says she found a buyer willing to buy half her collection. Not for the millions she hoped for, but enough to cover her expenses.
What is it that keeps you going?
I guess it's the chase. It's a thrill.
And despite it all, she can't quite shake the hope
Look what I found.
that she's just a thrift shop away from finding a lost masterpiece.
In the upper right-hand corner, it says Picasso.